Ladies and gentlemen, Ryan Rockwell is with Mixtapes, and he found me here and got us to come out to the Warped Tour, stop.
Yeah.
What do you call it?
In Pomona, right?
The Pomona stop.
I've been a big fan since my roommate turned me on to you a while ago. Like I said, I mean, we don't have time for the whole story, but I'd gotten into a lot of politics and libertarian stuff and listened to a lot of other people, and they just seemed a little bit too non-real human being. And then I found your show, and it was a nice, refreshing change of pace. My roommate turned me on to it. So
hold on, blow a little more smoke up my ass here. I got a question. You said something about what I was presenting was distinct from like other libertarian media sources. What was and the reason I say this is not just like blow smoke up my ass, but like I want to know, and this is another part of this conversation that I think we're going to have tonight is, you know, how do we restore the spirit of rebelliousness in music?
Agreed.
You know, is there a role for me as a content producer, for Adam versus the Man, for the book Freedom, you know, for you as an activist, you know, what can we do to restore that and bring that back? And you're, you know, I want to make sure our audience gets a sense of your unique position. But first, when you mention it like that, what was it, and is there some greater?
Well, I guess, the quick version, like I told you when we talked the other day, is I used to work at a venue before we started touring, and the band took off. And I always could tell from Bush through Obama, like, that I definitely wasn't a Republican or a Democrat. And I wasn't really sure exactly what I felt. I could just tell that both parties were not right. Like, something was not right about either side. And I definitely, maybe not even just libertarian people, but then I got into the Alex Joneses and people like that who would say things I agreed with, but still just wasn't, like, it didn't feel like it was for me, like somebody speaking for me and what I believed in, even if I agree with a lot of things he said. And then my roommate turned me on to your podcast, and it just, I started listening to it every day, or every day you put something up. So not to blow smoke up your ass, but I just felt like I could just relate to you in a way where I felt like I was listening to a human being talk from a human being perspective instead of having to go this. When I listen to Alex Jones, even if I could listen to one of his episodes and agree with 99% of the things he says, I feel like I'm listening to a podcast version of the WWE.
Kick some New World Order ass in the info war.
Does that make sense? Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And it's just like, I still agree with a lot of things he says, and I think he has a lot of points to make, but it's just almost like, I don't want to compare him to Glenn Beck or somebody, but it's just that over-the-top force down your throat to where I found your show and you're just talking because you care as a human. And I think that distinction is so important that it made such a huge difference to me, at least, that I can't imagine it wouldn't for other people as well.
Well, here, Alex Jones is a little bit different.
Definitely.
You know, Alex Jones has some very specific things in his tone that are great, that are very powerful, that have gotten a lot of people's attention, but turn a lot of people off. And like, that's fine. But there's a broader phenomenon, I think, among libertarians that maybe has kept us from connecting with the mainstream, with the music scene, with however you want to describe it a little more.
Agreed.
Which is that there's this, and I don't think I'm really honored that you would notice that I'm doing pretty well in this regard, but I haven't always been. I mean, when I ran for Congress, I was a douchebag like everybody else.
Everyone's been there. No one is born with the knowledge.
No, but it's not the knowledge. There's something about preaching the message, or even trying to convince people of something political that prevents you from just connecting with them like a normal human being for most people. And it brings in a certain pretentiousness, or with Alex Jones, it's a, you have to know this right now or else attitude, you know, but it's something that is just not like, hey man, I know this, it makes my life better, I'd like to share it with you. And like, I think you really should know this.
So important. I don't want the fear mongering. I want somebody giving me facts and reality and of ways we can make the world a better place, not what food I need for my bunker to go live in for the next 12 years. Like, you know what I mean? I don't want a bunker. I want to make this world a better place.
Well, tell us about how you got into this position, how the band Mixtapes came together, and we'll play a song to introduce
honestly,
you to the audience here.
A lot like he said right here next to me is, I think a lot of bands that end up doing big things are by accident. And my dad passed away about 4 years ago, and he was my best friend in the entire world. I can definitely say my dad dying was like probably the worst thing I'll ever go through, because I can't imagine another thing that would happen that would strike me that much. Like, even if my mom died, it would crush me, but my dad was my best friend. So at that point, I was still about 27, 28, pretty old to start a band. And I'd already toured. I've been in different bands.
So I was going to say, what were you doing before that? Have you always been a musician?
I used to be in a punk band, just a fast punk band. We toured with a lot of old school bands. Like, I don't even know if people even know, bands like the Queers, Blood for Blood, just old school hardcore punk bands. We toured with those bands. Then I worked at Journeys, the shoe store, for 4 or 5 years, and I worked at a nightclub. Just trying to decide. I was going back to school, and then my dad passed away. I was about 27, and I just started writing these songs because I didn't know what else to do because I was super depressed. And they became mixtape songs. And I never planned on touring. I never planned on doing anything with it. And then we put our record out for free because we never played a show. It was just a record. And within 6 months, it's been downloaded, I think, 30,000 times. I mean, it was free, but still crazy. And then it went up to 100,000. We started getting tour offers and talking to labels. And it was like, well, I guess, I mean, kind of like you said, it started as a joke. And you're like, well, let's just go for it, I guess. I mean, people want to hear it. And I was writing these serious songs about death and life. And we just went for it, and 4 years later, we're our first band announced for Warped Tour, and I'm here talking to you. It literally feels like it's been like 2 weeks. Like, it's crazy. And I think it's because we didn't start like a lot of these Warped Tour bands that are like, I'm going to get on Warped Tour and make money and get girls. It was more just like I was depressed, I wrote some songs, and they connected to people.
No, it's really amazing.
That's it. That's all it is.
I've seen some of that in the online presence that you have. I mean, your fans have a distinct connection.
They do, and it's different. I respond to every tweet. I get on Facebook every day. And, you know, we have people that come up to us. It's cool. Like, we don't get, like, a lot of weirdos. Like, I have a lot of guys that will come up to me and be like, you know, my roommate killed himself or my mom passed away, this or that. Like, your lyrics helped me get through it. And they'll have tattoos. And it's really cool. It's personal stuff that's not out of line. It's not crazy. It's nice. Like, it's just, I feel like the people that like our band are pretty normal compared to a lot of bands. But I think it's because we put ourselves out there that way. We don't act bigger than we are or egotistical.
Yeah, no, and I got that from watching your set, last week at Warped Tour. I mean, that you guys were, I mean, it was funny, and we'll get into this, because I want to hear you trash talk all the other bands some more.
That's fine.
Warped Tour, it's full of shitty bands, we're all right, go see Less Than Jake, they're awesome.
Yeah, the whole ego, I can honestly say, I mean, like, I've never been in this position, but if I sold 20 million records, I don't think I'd be any different. I can't imagine. There's so many people out here in the world, from the stuff we're talking about to, like, just people saving lives and doing important things, that to have an ego because you put a few chords together and wrote a song people liked, I can't imagine. I just can't imagine.
You know what? Everything you said about the way that I'm uniquely able to connect to people, I would say the same thing about the presence that you guys had on stage with the audience there.
That.
I mean, it's a small stage. It's on it's a side stage at a big music festival, and I remember seeing, like, the band that went on before you was a little more hardcore, and the lead singer was was a screamer and, like, really theatrical, and you're just like kind of out of place screaming to just a couple thousand kids, like, gather, like, and then the band after too is like it was very pretentious, where you guys were just like, I mean, you're like, just fucking around before your set starts, playing, like, little Nirvana licks, just random shit like that.
Just get up there and do it. Like, the whole bands that get up there with the whole, like, what's up, Pomona? Where this? Like, it's over the top. Like,
what's up, Pomona?
Today I just get up there and, like, hey, we're mixtapes.
Man.
Here's our songs, and that's it. And it's
more than that. It's more than that. I mean, you guys really create a welcoming environment that invites people to connect.
I appreciate that. But like I said, even someone like you is just doing something, I think, really important on a world scale. I'm just writing songs, and it's cool that they can be recognized like that. And I'm glad that I can be known for at least being real, because I definitely feel like that's something that I am.
Nobody else is showing the IDs.
Yeah, you gotta show ID.
Sir, you're grabbing me?
And that's the problem. The decision-making matrix. Exercise your right to alter or abolish the government.